This couldn't happen again. This is that one.
Hello, can you hear me?
This couldn't happen again.
Okay, great.
This is that one.
Huzzah. Alright, so, first things first, let's make this boy straight up and down. Turn down the music a little bit. Yeah. This should go pretty fast. I'm gonna isolate, ooh, that's interesting. Oh, I see, I see. So the bass is that. And then that's our, oh, let's see. Sword is right there. Honestly, I'm just gonna probably, still kind of loud. Okay, let's check it out. Is that better? We're gonna, oh, don't worry, I honestly, just having it higher res is all I needed. Don't even worry about it. In fact, I'm just gonna make a copy and collapse it. Ah! Oh no. Yeah, this is all good. Alright, so I'm gonna line it up. And again, this is with the knowledge that I, as a person, decided in my youth to never learn Illustrator because I don't want to. So, I don't know why. It's a perfectly fine program. Oh, David, what are you doing in here? Oh, hello. Well, I'm going to show you how to use vector tools tonight. Aw, David. Man. Okay, so yeah. This is me showing how to use Photoshop's vector tools to make pretty quick versions of a pin, even if you're dead tired and you don't have a steady hand. Where's your emote? I don't know. I haven't thought of emotes. Honestly, because of my class schedule, I have so little time to stream because I'm pretty much dead for 3 days after, and I only have four days in between. That it's probably going to be a moratorium on streaming for a bit. It's a big old bummer because I'm pretty excited about it. Alright, what I'm doing here is I am selecting all of this, and then I'm just going to use the magic wand tool, which I've set. Hello! Make your students make my emotes. I just don't, I mean, I could make an emote probably pretty easy. I just don't know what emote to make. And yeah, and since I can't stream until I'm done with classes probably because I'm so dead. Alright, so yeah, right now I just want the silhouette. Yeah, I probably will. That's the whole point, because I've been meaning to show my buddies, who I love with all my heart, how I use vector tools in Photoshop. In fact, and that's exactly what this is. Fortunately, Eth or Chelsea in the chat, this is hers, and she's giving me the chance to show on a nice clean line work that because that's not mine. If you saw, like, right now there's that challenge show before, like the before and after. Oh my god, my stuff is barely legible. It's ridiculous. Alright, so I've made a nice clean selection out of this beautiful art. And I can then write, is this inside this, is this translucent, or is this transparent? Is that a cutout, or is that more enamel? I know, like, the chat has to catch up. Chelsea, is this, that's cut out? Okay. So I'm going to, for my own help. Obviously for you, you didn't need to know this because you had an idea in mind. I'm going to make a mask because I've already deselected this once and I don't want to do it again. So these are cut out. Is there any other cutouts anywhere? Is this cut out? Alright, I think that's right. I didn't. I started working though on, I started working on some charms. I've been so busy, but because Emerald City Comic Con got canceled, I'm having a little bit more time to do stuff, which is both good and bad. Alright, so I have the selection made, and I'll probably, now that I know that these needs to be deselected as well, I'll just Magic Wand Tool, and I set that to A because I'm left-hand non-dominant, and I want to do everything as easily as possible. So I set everything to my WASD keys like I'm playing a video game to win it, because I want to win Photoshop. Alright, wait, is this black stuff, this is not part of the pin, right? Because it has like floating bits. I'm gonna assume it's not. You're calling me a nerd? You're calling somebody a nerd. Better not be me. I'm not a nerd. Well, I am, but that's not fair. I did nothing wrong. Alright, I have a feeling that, focus on the sword. Is it part of it? Because I can do these together, and it would be easier for me to do them together. But I see like this floating bit is, oh no. Oh no. Sorry. Oh no, and then I got a social, how dare you shout me out. It's like a darkness effect from the sword. How is this part gonna be connected? Oh no. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. How is it gonna be like a mini pin? It doesn't really matter. In fact, it really, so it's just gonna be black enamel. But you've got like a floating bit here. Is this the whole thing one giant pin? 'Cause that's kind of fucking cool. Is this just one ginormous pin? What? Oh my god. I didn't even realize. I thought this was gonna be a pin set that you could, oh my god. Oh wow, I had no idea. Damn, dude. Damn, dude, that's gonna be giant. Okay, shit. I thought this was gonna be pieces that you could buy. It's gonna be one honker giant pin. Yeah. Wow, okay. Yeah, no wonder. Yeah, okay. So, I think we can still isolate this. We'll have to realign it, but that's fine. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, I've seen those Disney pins. They make a lot of money. All right, so let's, jeez, dude. 2 inches? There's too much detail for 2 inches. Yeah, I don't like this pin as a 2 inch would be okay, but I think you're gonna end up losing a lot of detail if this is a 2 inch pin. You're joking, right? Okay. Okay. Spin on just oh my god, and then yes, this sword spins just because it's not big enough. I don't know if 2 inches is gonna look super good. I mean, you can print it out and see, but there's a certain thickness that they won't go into. But the good news is once we've got this thing vectored out, it won't matter, so that's cool. Alright, so I'm gonna turn this all off. So the biggest thing I've reselected it. If you hold down Control and you click on a mask or any other layer, it'll reselect that whatever's not transparent. Which means that the selection that I did earlier and don't have to deal with is still there. So I don't, even though I got distracted by many fun things. If I press Alt, wow, shucks, thank you, David. Again, always the most kind. All right, so let's see, if I invert this, which I've set it to the work computer, I've set it to something else, and so I set that hotkey to Control, I think Control Alt F or Control Alt D, because again, I want everything under my WASD keys. And if I select this and I use one of my selection tools, like the lasso tool, the magic wand tool, or the marquee tool, and I right click within it, I can make this boy a work path. And this is where the magic starts and gets a little complicated, and again, the reason that I'm making this video and recording it this time around. So I'm going to go over to my paths, which I tend to keep open, or I'll tend to keep it in my channels, or I'll accidentally close it when I'm being annoyed with all my stuff. And what that shows us is a nice actual paths tool. It's not quite, what's the word, symmetrical, which I can probably fix later when I probably will separate that out in the long run. And then what I can do is go back to my layers, make a new empty layer, click on this work path and go to layer, let's see, new fill layer. And that's going to be a solid color. And what you see is that this should, yeah, you see, so this is a vector. So you see the little, like, it looks like a box with points on it. So that means it's a vector layer. And what that means is if I go to Photoshop, if I'm in Photoshop CC, they've made the vector tool not stupid with this one called curvature pen tool. So I've set mine to, I think U. Oh no, I've set mine to Y because I use it so much. By default, it's on P, which is really good if you're left-hand dominant, but I'm not. Because then, so you can reach it up. So I put it under Y, so it's still in reach. It's not quite, you know, your WASD area, but it's, you don't have to stretch your entire hand across the canvas and hurt yourself. All right, so you can see what it's created for us is a nice, clean, editable vector. If I really want to clean it up, I absolutely can. This whole thing seems kind of low res to begin with, the fact that we're so pixely. So if that's the biggest you're working with, it's going to make cleaning this up a little bit harder. So I'm just going to make this canvas just that much bigger so I can end up with nice, really crisp, clean lines. So I'm going to make this thing, I'm just going to double this guy up. My computer's big and chunky so I can work on my wall scrolls, so this shouldn't be a problem. And of course with the vectors, that's not a big deal, the size, but if we get like, you know, the line work being so hard to read, it'll be easier to see this. All right, so now you can see my lines are a little bit cleaner. I think just because this is pretty detailed. All right. Another thing I can do is, so I can't really see what's going on in here yet. I can put a stroke on this. I like using the layer effects, but apparently while I was researching for this demo, I think this works better for AI files rather than using a layer effect. It's on the inside, which I don't love, but you know what? If that's what works for the manufacturers, then I'm happy. Alright, you can see it's all bumpy and wavy, but it was also super easy to make this. If I lower the opacity, I should be able to see the line work through it. I may also make a copy of the line work so that I can see what the heck was going on underneath there and just put it over here so I can kind of keep an eye on it so I can see up close what I was supposed to be doing. Alright, so I'm gonna get a nice clean silhouette to start because I think that's, and everything else can just be like attached to it and everything can be built out of clipped out parts of it. Let's see, I'm gonna make this one's gonna be our red, so that I can keep track of it. And then I'm just going to clean up half of this because then we can delete that other half and keep going. Alright, so this is my active one. I'm going to turn it down a little bit so I can actually see my vector. Alright, so now we get to the curvature pen tool. If you guys have used the pen tool in Photoshop before, it super sucks. Like, you have to do all this garbage. There's also the, let's see, the selection tool, which is, I think the hotkey is A. The white one lets you like kind of get back into the verts and things, which is very useful. And I mean verts like vertexes, like if you were doing 3D modeling. Alright, so I'm going to make this, I'm trying to figure out, because usually I'll use a layer effect for this, but again, finding out that that's not how it should work, I'm having to play with the stroke. So curvature pen tool, it looks like it actually has, let's see, yeah, it looks like something that it's not a piece of garbage. Alright, so here let's just use this really quickly to make a straight, it looks like it needs a straight pommel or straight hilts. So if I turn this off and I go in here, I can select the verts and I'm going to get rid of some of them. I've set Control F to be clear because, and I use that for layer masks a lot, but it also deletes out, it should delete out our verts without causing, there we go. So we can connect these and I'll slowly delete these out and you can see it's starting to straighten out. There's some curves in there, but I'll fix them after I've got a nice clean So the reason that the curvature pen tool rocks so hard is because if I double click this, it creates a straight line. If I double click it again, it'll be curved. If I double click it again, it'll be either curved too sharp. So it becomes a lot more intuitive than the old way. The old way is kind of garbage. So there I've got now a very nice straight line. I'm going to zoom in and I'm just going to clean this whole thing up without hating my life, which I like. I hate having Photoshop tools feel like I want to die, but a lot of them do feel like that. So this is really good if I want those nice clean angles for turning this away. And obviously this is a demo, so if there's something you want to change, Chelsea, after we're all done with this, that's fine. If this is so small though, you're also going to probably not see it. It's not going to be quite as important because all this detail will probably be lost. If you want, I can show you my first enamel pen, which I got way too detailed, and they just clobbered a lot of the detail. It just didn't make it into the final proof because there's a certain thickness that they cannot go beneath, and that's what I did. Yeah. All right. So you can see it's behaving like I want it to. It sounds like you were fighting all day with the normal pen tool because you were in CS or CS6. CS6 is great, but this like fix alone is just so good. All right, so I can fix this. Again, I'm only fixing half of this because then I can just mirror it over so I don't have to do it twice. I might make this top work so I don't have to I can get the curve looking semi-decent. If there's a way to mirror these, I don't know what it is. It would be there might be. I may have looked it up before too and not found any answers. If I want this little detail to be here, all I do is click it and then curve it, and you can see now we've got that corner if that's something you want to preserve or not. But you can see it's much easier between creating the whole thing from a selection and then the curvature pen tool. It actually becomes a happy substitute for Illustrator. As far as I mean, I've never used Illustrator, but I've been making Photoshop do everything I can to never have to touch that or buy it. Again, I don't know why. I've heard it's a great program, but I just don't want to learn it. And because Photoshop's vector tools are pretty solid, I don't know if I'm ever gonna have to. So it's also good. You can see we can clean if we want these lines to be more like kind of more controlled curves. This is really good. If you want it to be a little bit more uneven, you may have to go in there and kind of fight with it. I'm probably not going to do any artsy non-perfection stuff. I'm going to leave that to your capable hands. But you can see that we can create nice crisp lines so easily. Like the goose pin I made, I did that after I came home from work when I was dead, tired, zombified, because this is so easy that even if you're brain dead, you can kind of do this. I think Illustrator has a vector trace or something that I keep hearing about, which is probably easier than this. I don't know. You probably would have to clean it up anyway. I can't really speak on. I don't want to give you a tool that's bad just because I don't like Illustrator, because it's probably fine. I just like this. I like Photoshop. This gets me where I need to go. All right, so I'm gonna delete a lot of these I just keep on pressing Control F, Control up, and then I froze a little bit. Nope. All right. I should probably save this because I don't want to go back over it. So I'm gonna do that. I think it's downloads. Yeah. All right. Yes. Good. All right. And we're just kind of cleaning up. If you want things to be rounded instead of super sharp, which I don't if you go too small, you're not going to get any sharp tapers anyway, because again, there's only so thin manufacturers really can go. But you can go a little bit, I can get some that gets a little finicky, but it's not unusable. It just requires a few more points but it's so much more intuitive than the old crappy tool. So this is a little sketchy. So I think it's supposed to be one even curve. So I'm just going to treat it like that, and we can fix it if it's not. Let's see. So I'm just deleting, and Yeah, that's, again, it's so much more intuitive. It's really good. All right, so we're just doing basic cleanup, but you see we're not halfway done. I think we're closer to almost, yeah, once we get, like, a lot of this just becomes flat. I think area will be a little tricky, but not too much. You know, we're getting mainly a lot of the interior details out right now, and it's you said you've been fighting it all day. So hopefully this is like, that'll help maybe this become less of like a, oh, I just heard this thing, and more like, oh shit, this is the best thing. Or maybe you're like, no, this is a waste of time, and that's allowed. That's valid. All right, so I can clip that, and we're just doing it. If it's not exactly perfect, we can room things around. All right, I'm gonna just move this a little bit. I'm going to keep an eye on what your art underneath was supposed to look like, so I don't just completely demolish it and make something useless. Yeah, you can change when you make the work path, you can also change how tolerant it is to the lines, so it can either be more close with a lot more points, or less close and be a little bit less accurate but have a lot more cleaner cleaner curves. I think I like the looser one because that means that you can adjust it instead of having to like go back and clean everything up. That is, you know, just not quite perfect, because it is so easy with these just nice long curves. My first pen, I literally like downloaded French curve shapes online because I was trying to make really beautiful lines by hand, and it was just took me so much. It was such a waste of time. It was just so much time trying to figure this out. So now I can share this knowledge with people so they don't have to also figure it out. Alright, so I'm cleaning this up, cleaning this up. This is just a nice straight line, so I'm probably just going to try to get rid of anything that's preventing it from being a nice even line. But the original trace did a great job. I'm thinking it would probably be nicer to have this as a separate shape, so I probably should have done that. We were trying to debate that at the beginning. But as we learn, I'm gonna clean up the bottom and then probably make a copy of this so that I can like separate out the pieces of the like with the shadow effect. Have you seen that? There's that giant Disney pen that's like just every single Disney IP, and it's like as long as the dude's forearm. Yeah, like I think those sold really well, so like giant pins can be beloved. It's just, I don't know how much it'll take. Yeah, that one's crazy. It's just like, I can't believe this actually exists. And then he's like, yeah, these things sold out. And I was like, wow, yeah, sure. Like, people, pin buyers can go ham. Ape shit, I guess. Yeah. Alright, so I think we're not entirely done, but there's just a little bit more cleanup to do in here. And I'm not timing myself, but, it's not exactly a speed run, but it is nice to not be taking fucking forever to finish these. Alright, I'm gonna go for these interior lines. I'm gonna switch shapes right now. You can see there's no vectors over here. I'm going to this little white arrow, the direct selection tool. Unfortunately, I have the hotkeys sharing with the magic wand tool, which is not great. But I haven't figured out a better place for them yet. The reason it's not great is because if I want to get to one to the other, there's so many more hotkeys to scroll through. It's not perfect or ideal. But for right now, at least it's better than having them like the magic wand tool nowhere. It wasn't a problem until I started really doing vector stuff. That's why my optimization is so crappy. Alright, looking at the shape you've got, trying to make it nice and accurate. We've got a nice overlap in here of like sharp, crisp shapes, so let me make sure, just double tapping to create the sharpness, and it's very easy is the thing. That's the best thing, is it's super easy. You can go back and edit this with the old path tool, if there's like, I don't know why you would want to do that, but it's an option. It's nice if you know how, because like I think if you press A, you can see like we get those little handlebars. So yeah, I don't super know why you'd want to do that, but at least you know what. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out like a good reason to do that, and I don't have one. because knowledge is power. I don't know. The old pen tool sucks. Even if you knew how to use it, it's just like, thank God we don't have to use it anymore. Alright, we've got this kind of little bumpy bump here. And I'm trying to keep it a little curvy. And again, I only have to do it once because that side I'm probably going to delete out. On deleting out vectors, I'm not, like, combining them together, I am not quite as solid on because I've only used these for like flat images. I haven't used them like for AI files. That's what I was hoping we'd see with like Christine's. But I think we can figure that out probably just by doing a few collapsings and things like that. Saving out AI files is a little tricky in Photoshop. Like I think I've only had to do it once, and it is worth seeing a YouTube video on. I don't remember how to do it off the top of my head. I haven't done it since like I think June of last year because I needed it for a standee base for the light up ones. So I don't think I can demo that in here, but I can probably link a video of it before I log off of this. Let's see. So you can get tighter curves as long as we are adding more spots to it. And again, it's super intuitive. That's how it should have been all along. I'm glad that they fixed it because now it's a tool I use all the time. I saw another professor at the school, like they were using it to make selections, and I was like, there's no way that any like rational human being would use that miserable tool to make just something as unimportant as selections. But now that you see it like this, it's much better. All right, am I missing? Yeah, this should be all touching the top of it. There we go. All right. So you saw that one was like, it's kind of like janky looking. It's because it's using the old method. But if I just double click it, it brings it back into the curvature pen, so that it just behaves better. Which is the whole point of this, to make the pen tool and the curves not stupid. So if I turn this up, you can see we have a pretty nice, pretty clean goddamn outline. We have to cut that out. You can do that a number of ways. I was looking this up so that I wouldn't have the worst demo for you. If we make a second shape, obviously I think ideally for the next weapons you do, I would if there's anything in the background, I would just do it separately because you want it to go all the way through and not have to figure it out. But if I go up here to the pen, or excuse me, the tool settings, I can set this so that it excludes the overlapping shape. And I'll select both of these, holding Shift and selecting both layers. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go Merge Shapes. And that didn't work because, as I mentioned, I'm not super good at this particular part. I don't usually have to use this one. Subtract front shape. Okay. Ooh. Heck, that's not working. Let's try that. Sorry, guys. Subtract front shape? Buddy, please. Yeah, again, I don't use this very much for actual AI files. Let's see. Subtract front shape, please. Or just... Alright, is this gonna work? Hello? Okay, that worked. It's definitely unintuitive in this case because I guess that worked though. It's fine. That's probably if you do learn how to use that properly, it's probably the answer to all these cutout shapes. And now you can see we've got that nicely done there. So that's how you do that. Yeah, which looks good. So to go into the interior of this, I would probably just map out this entire goddamn thing. Until I've just pieced it slowly apart. And again, I can use the stroke on this thing. I was looking at some tutorials on how people make this stuff in Illustrator, and it seems like giving a vector with just a stroke is an option. If this was what I've done in the past, and I like a lot better than that particular one, is putting a layer effect stroke on it because it has a lot more options. So I don't know. I haven't given my manufacturers a lot of. Well, the problem with that. Well, actually, there's two things. You can get those indents with like the enamel. You see how it's not. This would be like an inset in the enamel. versus this being sharp. Like you're less likely to get sharp metal lines than you are to get recessed lines. They can do that much more easily. You're less likely to get sharp metal lines on the at the points. I like this one, but I think the problem, of course, is that it's it's rounded. So, but that won't really matter long term. Either way, if we go back to this tool, we can turn on the stroke, and that should be good. All right, so I mean, it's just continually doing this until we are kind of happy with it, and then probably I'll cut out the other side and then merge this together until we have something nice. It looks like for Christine's file, it was all one, but the problem, it was all only one recessed piece, so it's hard for me to tell what exactly the, like, if we had color on this, what it should look like. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is just make the selection and then just cut out the pieces that I want to be different. So I can slowly like take this apart, and then just basically going back from the step that we started on from the beginning, doing the big silhouette, slowly breaking this down and breaking this down until we have a fully mapped out piece. All right, so I was just doing the hilt and the pommel. So I'm, deselecting this with Control, hello, then waiting for my Photoshop to crash. Save again, just in case. Yep, okay. All right, and it is probably not loving how big this file is. Oh, all right, there we go. Or maybe because I have like 5,000 tabs open, that might be it too. All right, if Photoshop keeps freezing on you, that's like I think it's like a newish bug from CC. You can, it's still not, I think I had it in CS6 as well though. Just Control Tab will help fix that. All right, so I'm almost there. I probably can do more of this all combined. I'll probably try to get like a little bit more out of this one selection. All right, looking beautiful. And let's see. This, how, oops, crap, that didn't go so well. Let's see. I'm trying to see, is this all one piece? All right, rather than be silly like I'm doing, I can just do what I went into before, which was just mask out that part that I care about and then turn back that line work so I can see it and just do a nice quick selection here. The tolerance is pretty low, so I'm probably going to go in there and make the tolerance higher so that it does a better job being clean. And that of course means how much contrast it will tolerate. So that looks a lot better, and I didn't have to spend a bunch of time. And where does that go to? Alright, that goes to there, which is probably just fine. And then I'm going to Control F, clear that from my mask so it's all connected, and probably just make that into our new piece of vector. So I'm going to, again, click that. I'm going to right click it just like we did at the beginning with a selection tool. So in this case, the lasso tool, the magic wand tool, or the marquee tool will let me have this option. I'm going to right click this and make it into a work path. And you guys know the drill. We're going to go to Layer, New Fill Layer, Solid Color. That's the one that I suggested you make into an action because you'll probably be using it a lot, especially for subdividing this, because this is only one part of an otherwise like insanely complex pin. I cannot believe this is one pin. You're a madman. All right. I can also what I probably should have done was deselected the part of this that is let's see. But I can also, you made your life goal to make your life harder. Yeah, well, let's see. I don't think there's anything wrong with being super crazy ambitious. I think that's actually pretty rad. It's just a matter of, I don't know, trying to do the easiest crazy thing you can. All right. So I'm going to go here. And what I want to do now, is this my, yeah, so what I want to do is what we did before, is I want to deselect this from, and I think, how did we end up doing that? Shoot. Yeah, this is the part where I definitely am not as familiar with. It's where you subtract and merge bits. Combine shapes, intersect shape area, exclude overlapping shapes. I don't think I like any of those, so I'm just going to go back to before I made that work path and make sure it's a little bit better than this one is. Sorry guys. That's something I'm still working on. But I can show you a really nice extra tool. What I just did there is, if you look in here, I have my original shape mask. That's great. If I press, I believe, nope. If I press Shift, Alt, Control, it will remove that selection from the other selection. So it took out any parts that wasn't, let's see, and then it's hard to explain because I'm trying to do another thing at the same time. Oops. And I definitely need to change my work hotkeys so that they're the same as my ones at home so I don't get super confused. Alt Control D, and then there we go. So what that did was it took out the part that we had already deselected, and now if I make this into a work path, it's going to be a lot more accurate. Alright. So I'm going to go in here, probably not in the mask itself. I have to be not in the crop, I have to be in the lasso tool. I'm going to hit make work path. Cool. And now we are actually good to go. Alright, so I'm going to I'm not probably going to delete these. These selections are useful for later. And then I'm going to have my work path selected, go to image, no, sorry, layer, new fill layer, solid color. Alright, and I'm going to make this not red because it's a little confusing to have everything being the same color on here. Alright, so let's grab our piece, and I'll make this one a little bit, I'll just change it to like an overlay. Alright, now we can see what's going on in here. This is great. Yeah, cool. Alright, and then we can fix this shape so that it looks better. We can also subtract this from the top shape so that we end up slowly having just a bunch of pieces that are all going to end up with our main boy. There's not too much that we have to fix in this because the other one was pretty solid. It's just the stuff that is the new overlaps are probably the only thing we have to deal with. I can also put on a new stroke onto this thing. Hello? Oh, you can't do that while you're in the vertex mode. Hello? And then of course if it freezes on you, just right click. Hello? I'm so super confused as to why that's happening. What do I have selected? Oh, I'm not in the pen tool there. Let's see. There we go. So I was in custom shape instead of the pen tool, and that was my fault. Alright, so I'm going to make this a little bit thicker so I can see it. It's interesting because it's overlay, it's not affecting it quite the same way, which is just fine. Alright. So yeah, the biggest problem with this is that I am not familiar with how to actually make this thing manufacture ready. I only know how to make the shapes really fast. So it would be a little bit of extra legwork before we have this as a fully functional replacement for everything in Illustrator. But actually the main problem isn't the Illustrator stuff, it's just knowing how these files would need to be set up. Like whether you need these pieces all individual or whether your line should be their own vector. I'm not sure. But we'd have to figure that out no matter what program we were in. Alright, so we've got these guys and we want this to have a nice crisp outline. And this becomes just kind of this repetitive thing, which is why I was like, yeah, I don't mind doing this today because it's easier on the brain than a lot of other stuff. I'm going to set this not to overlay. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons. What you could probably do is, yeah, instead of using this crappy stroke that is, I think, what you need to do, at least for the working of it, I would probably put just a normal stroke on it that I have more control over. You see it's not getting hit with the overlay, which was kind of garbage. Let's see. You can use the arrow keys on this as well. And then of course when we're all done with this, when we have all these strokes on there that are no longer being used, we can go clear all the layer styles. There's also something where if something has a shape attribute, you can paste that into there, so you could probably just in one fell swoop add all of the correct stroke that you need to make this a proper AI file. If that doesn't make any sense, let me know. Like, if you have any questions, let me know, because I'm just kind of going through this. But if anything isn't making sense, or you're just like, I don't know what the hell that you just did, or you're like, I don't like this and this is a waste of my time, you can just let me know. And that's, I'll try to either make it more clear. Yeah. Yeah, no worries. It's a lot. It's a lot. It took me, like, again, I already knew how to use the Photoshop Paths tool. And I've been using Paths for years for everything that I do. And this still took me 2 weeks to figure out this workflow. And as I keep on saying, I still am not entirely sure what the file format should be for a finished, ready to go, full color piece. Which I'm sure we probably have some buddies that have done that kind of thing, so we can ask them what the hell this should look like. Alright, so here we're looking at that, and that should be touching. Too much information that is hard for you to catch up, especially when you're trying to figure out where all the buttons are in CS6. Yeah, make a path button is. Yeah, unfortunately, like, if there's anything you want me to slow down on, instead of, like, just stop me. Just go, hey, Alexa, what the fuck did you just do? And I'm cool with that. Because this isn't a YouTube video. Like, I'm here. And also, it'll probably make the video clearer if you guys ask me, like, where things are. You're not obligated to. And then the other problem, of course, is that you're in CS6, which it just doesn't have this tool. Yeah, everyone's complaining about CC being subscription-based, like, the improvements are so very good. This alone is so very good. Alright. So yeah, if you have any questions, what brushes do you use? I use the curvature pen tool brush. And then I use the hard round, and everyone hates it. Whoa! Yeah. Like pulling through from start to finish, then asking questions. Yeah, that's valid. I think most of this is just gonna be rinse and repeat until we have this whole thing mapped out into little bits and subdivided pieces. I did choose the most complicated one so that, like, we could see how this can tackle it relatively easily. Like, drawing this cleanly, I don't have the ability. I just can't, I don't draw clean. But I do have the ability to look into Photoshop until it replaces my non-existent art skill at a certain thing. I'm trying to follow along. Aw, that's great. Yeah, this is, because I think you draw much cleaner than I do. And anybody who's got clean lines, that whole process of the first one with the what do you call it? The magic wand tool can be really powerful. Because it will just get so much of the work done for you. That's why anybody who's got, like, clean lines, I'm like, dude, just it's ready to go. Unfortunately, like, our previous manufacturer that I hated, you didn't even need to you didn't need to give them an AI file. Like, I would just do this and send them a JPEG of the results, and that was good enough for them. Unfortunately, everything else about it was constantly incorrect, as you saw with your book pins. So I could complain about that menu again, but that's boring. We've seen that, we've heard that. But it is nice when they don't require AI files. My new manufacturer was like, please give us AI files. I'm like, I can't, I'm in Chicago. But hopefully they can show me some examples of what they want so I can be more helpful for everybody. Alright, so we're at this little loopy one down here. I'm trying to, like, figure out where I am on the sword. I can probably not work in red too. Red is bad for the eyes, and my eyes are tired. If you can go again from a selection, making it a filled work path. I'm trying to make that happen and trying to figure out where the buttons are in CS6. Hidden button in the paths window. Alright, sure. Let me pull up one that's a little bit less complicated, because I'm just spending so much time drawing this one out. And that's again why I offered to do this, is because this is just like, basically, like, if you've ever done a puzzle, it's so, you can kind of turn off your brain for it, which is nice when you're tired and you don't want to do anything after work, like I have done. Alright, so I'm going to turn all these off, and I'm going to go for one that's a little bit more simple. Yeah, I couldn't turn off my brain until I'd spent a long time figuring out how the hell to work this. So yeah, you have to learn it and then turn off your brain. The curvature path tool lets you turn off your brain though, thank God, because the pen tool was just like, oh, it was too much. All right, so I'm gonna just do this little piece here, and again, I think there's even I don't know if no CS6 doesn't have the symmetry tool. But you have the upgrade, and if you want, I think also we have some buddies at Adobe who can get you like a very official like updated one for pretty inexpensive. That would be Haku, and they have like licenses for I think like friends and family. All right, so I don't know why I selected just this, but I only really needed to do this. Probably because I'm tired too. But that's boring. We're always tired. All right, so I have this selection. So the only way this will work for me to make the work path, I have to be in one of my selection tools. That's going to be the magic wand, the quick selection tool, the lasso tool, any one of the lasso tools, or the marquee box tool. And then if I right click on this, I get make work path. And it looks like my work paths are here. And then I believe I can do a fill path. Did that work? No. Can make an extrusion. I don't know what any of the buttons down here do because they've fill path with foreground color, stroke path with brush, load path into a selection. Make work paths from selection we've already done. Layer mask, create new path. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can do that in this. So they may have just moved things around in CC, which is also the thing that they do. If I fill this path, I think I end up not with the fill. Let's see, mode, foreground color. I don't think I can change this. I don't think I can do the CS. Yeah, so you see it's a normal non-vector layer, unfortunately. So I just think you just can't do this. Well, you have to, like, your panel is probably different, because mine's just layer, new fill layer, solid color. And yeah, you can see we've got the icon there. I'm gonna stop using red because that's hard on the eyes. There we go. Let's do like a gentle blue. So is that easier for you to follow along on? Is that doable, or is it still searching? Keep on glancing. But again, if this isn't doable for you, you have the solution within your abilities. Oh, you can see the problem here is I'm adjusting one of the paths, but it's not changing the shape. It's because I'm changing the work path now and not the color fill 3 shape path. So if I go back in here now, I can actually edit this out, and that will actually change things around. There we go. Great, much better. Alright. So I think these are mostly just straight lines, so I can really keep anything out of here that isn't just a corner or not really just a corner. Can find the work path button, but then you end up with this lovely work path. Not this lovely work path. Oh, check out up here under the I think this will show up for any of the pen tools. You can also have this immediately make a shape. So if this doesn't work well, I guess the problem is the solution for this is even regardless of what tool you'll use, this would be a workaround for it, but if you just go into CS6, you won't, or CC, you won't need a workaround. So let me show you, like, again, I wouldn't suggest really doing this with the old one, and the old pen tool in CS6, unless you just kind of want to do hard mode for no reason, because but if I do take the old pen tool, or excuse me, the new pen tool, sorry, I can just draw it in myself. And it looks like I'm on white, so I'm going to change the color to this to like something viewable. And you can see that it will create the shape for me. This one's actually so easy that this one's not really a problem. But you can also see that just by clicking on that, it creates it, which is really nice. This shape is so simple that it's almost not even an issue just making it myself. Let's see, and then we've got the curve up there. And because the reason that this is being created is, of course, because I hit this to shape, and I'm creating a brand new thing. So I think just the problem is the tool you're using is not conducive, is not going to work with the method I'm showing you. And I probably won't want to find a workaround for CS6 because why would you do that? Like, it would take a little bit of time to research, and there's just no real benefit to learning a workaround for this when you have the option to go to a better new boy that it won't take long either. Alright, so here, since I've made it, I'm going to flip this horizontal, but I'm going to put the pivot point in the center. The biggest problem with doing this is if you don't make the top points aligned, which you can fix with the alignment tools, and you can see I've done that exact problem. You can see where it's, oops. You can see that it's not quite, they're not quite touching, which is probably why I had the, ruler up earlier. I can also, I don't know if you can use the alignment tools with verts, but you might be able to. I can check it out. Either way, I'm going to make sure that these actually line up correctly with the pen tool. Alright. Nothing happened. There we go. Alright, so now when I create that duplicate, it should be fine. Alright. And then I'm going to have it. I'm also going to turn on snap. Snap is usually super annoying, but for this kind of stuff, it's super good. Alright. It's bad for painting, but very good for aligning up things carefully like this. I'm going to flip that horizontal, and now we have still the same problem. Yeah, that's always fun. This is why I like, the mirroring definitely causes some problems sometimes. So I'm gonna fix these just manually and be sad about them not being perfect without me having to deal with it. And then just kind of get over it because this was still pretty fast. And then, yeah, you can find the work path button. Yeah, it's just, I think it's just the paths in CS6 just weren't as good. I'm not sure what the problem is. Alright, so we've got now these guys are symmetrical. They fit together. There's no holes in them. If I merge these shapes together, let's see, merge shapes, then we have one nice vector. Let's see, what is this? Oh, that was the earlier one. So I'm going to delete this, and then I'm going to put on the fill layer, or excuse me, the stroke. This one goes on the inside, which kind of, again, still sucks. You can also, I've seen some people will create it, make it bigger. I'm just going to put on a normal stroke layer on the outside, and not make it blue. And again, I'm not timing these, but they're quite fast for comparative to like just drawing it super nice, I think. So if we turn this one off, we can see what it would look like underneath with just white. So yeah, we have a super clean shape. This one is on its own. Like, I don't think they're going to end up looking into the vector lines. Maybe they will. If they do, then that's where we need to start seeing what's the deal with all these, like there's these interior lines, and that might be a problem. I'm not really sure, because I haven't done this before. I don't know how to connect merge verts together. So if it's like a 3D model, it might have problems. If it's not like a 3D model and this is fine, then we're good to go. I really can't say for sure. It's not getting an outline, so that's probably good, but I, again, haven't really used AI files at all, so that's the only caveat with this besides having the newer Photoshop. You figured it out! Fantastic! What was the secret? Let me know so I can let people in CS6 know if they have that. You clicked a bunch? Okay. Where'd you click? What was the secret? Can I do it in here? Because I would love to recreate it, so if anybody's watching this, they can figure it out if they're not in CC. Because I think I remember doing it. It's just super, super not a common way to go about it. Figure out what you did? Okay. Take your time. I mean, that's the gist of this thing, though. Like, there's really not too much else. If your manufacturer doesn't need you to do perfect vector lines, then a lot of this is overkill. Like, you don't need to worry about things being outlined, just having, or things being like nicely done. If your manufacturer does want vectors, or your manufacturer works better with clean vectors that are more clear for them, then this is, then we have to get more nuanced than as far as we've gone. But either way, this will save you guys a lot of time. If, there's a bit of a learning curve, but not too bad. And again, let's see, you had to open up the properties panel. All right, so go Windows, Properties. All right. Double clicking on the color fill layer, I think, and then I could make it into the movable cleanable work path. Let's see, was it this one? Select the vector mask. Let's see, if I do this work path and go Properties, panel by double clicking on the color fill layer. Image, new layer, new fill layer, solid color? Let's see, clipping mask. I'm trying to see if this is an option in here anymore. Solid color? You moved from layers into the properties panel, and then you could finally make it into what you were working with. Oh, see, there's the problem again. So you had made, you made the work path. So I have the properties panel, but I don't see anything at all. Make selection, fill path. Content aware, background color. Was it this properties panel right here? Or was it something else? Technically, you can just come down here if you want. Whatever is easy though. Because I would definitely like this to be more useful, because I know not everybody has CC. You moved from layers into the properties panel, and then you could finally make it into what I was working with. I had to open up properties panel by double clicking on the color fill layer. Oh, and blending the layer styles? Huh. No, I don't think that. Did I lose you? I may have lost you. You were in the properties panel. CS6 started me on the opposite side instead of the vector. So this one right here? Alright, so when I'm in here, what do? Pixel layer properties. Trying to figure out how to describe this nonsense. Why don't you just come down here? It's so hard to explain stuff without visuals in Photoshop. It's just like everything is kind of UI-y. Alright, I probably, maybe, I don't know, I don't think this was the most concise video, so maybe I'll give it a second round sometime. I definitely need to see what a properly set up file for manufacturers will look like, so that I don't, oh, you have to give me a Gyazo, that's great. Alright. So the little masking, okay? So properties, still looking. So that's just in the mask? Okay, so let's like start out on this. Okay, so we take this as a selection, mask it out, look at the properties, layer mask. Alright, so make it this instead? Is this this third one? Is that a vector mask? Oh, this is very old-timey style. Delete. Is this now our, did that do it? Yeah, I think that did it. Okay, so it looks like, yeah. So if you're in CS6 or below, it looks like the way that we did that was we do the exact same selections that we've been doing all along. Let's see. So I'm going to take this whole sword and then I'm going to hide some stuff because it's a little overwhelming with how much we've got on the screen right now. All right, so I'm going to make that, I'm going to make a new layer and I'm going to mask it out. I am going to have my properties open, which is under Windows, Properties. I don't think there's a hotkey for that. So just have that guy open. And then right now we can see the mask is on for this layer. So we've selected this layer that we want it to become a vector. And instead of having the mask clicked, I'm going to press the vector. And there we go. And that did not do it for us this time, interestingly. Do we have to have it selected? Or no, we didn't make it into a work path? No, I'm not really sure. I'm going to delete this and see what happened, because that definitely didn't work the second time around, which sucks because that was the whole reason I was like, oh, and this is how we do it, guys. No, it's not creating it this time. Do I have to have the work path selected? I don't know. It's kind of a... Oh, why did that work this time? Oh, Photoshop. Yeah, the new the new tools are way better. This is so frustrating. I can delete this mask now, which is the whole is very good, but I want to make sure that somebody who's watching this can recreate it instantly. Because otherwise, like, what's the point? Yeah, okay, so you have to make the work path first, because otherwise the path, it'll just use whatever is the current work path. Alright, so delete that. There we go. Alright, so we have our selection. Create this into a work path like we did earlier. Then when we go to layer properties, pixel layer properties, I'm going to just delete everything in here. I'm going to click on the work path and I'm going to have that selected. And I don't have the option anymore. This is frustrating. Do I have to have a mask? Okay, so you have to have the mask on there. And okay. Select shape with lasso, mask it out, properties window, layer mask into vector mask. Alright, so that would probably be easier because this is not reliable because you have to hit the buttons in the exact style, in the exact yeah, writing out what you're doing. Well, the problem is I'm not doing it in a correct order, so okay. Properties window, layer mask into vector mask. Yeah, so, oh wow, so you have to have a bunch of stupid crap up. So again, the best solution is to get CC, because CC fixes all of this garbage. So if you are not in CC, step one is get CC, because this sucks. But if you don't have that option, and for whatever reason you don't know how to use stealing, sorry, don't steal, edit that out later. Honestly, the student version for Photoshop is very inexpensive. I think it's like $10 a month, which, as long as you don't get like 5,000 other programs, which you don't need Illustrator if you have this program. If you're an animator, then you might need more in Photoshop's thing. All right, so step one for CS6. Wow, I can't see anything. CS6 and below. Select your crap. What? Why are you yelling at me? What's up? Okay, select your crap. Right? Let's see. So that's... Okay. Shoot. Yeah, I think because I didn't know how to do this one, this is very clumsy. So yeah, sorry for you guys who are learning it from this one. This is kind of pathetic. Yeah, oh, yeah, the chat is unfortunately behind it. Oh, yes. Alright, select your crap. Let's see, so magic wand. Magic wand or lasso. Alright. Now I have like 5, I didn't even need my brushes up here, this is so goofy, but I did need my paths up. So, and let's see, select or lasso, okay, or quick select. So that's your basic selection tools. There's also some very good other selection tools in Photoshop that I don't use a lot, but they're like for photo editing for people who don't even use tablets, so they're very like precise without you having to be wasting any of your time on it. Right click. Let's see, with one of those, like with a selection tool, right click. Make work path. I've already forgotten how to do this, that's why I'm writing it down. Let's see. Shoot, why is that? Okay, make new layer. This is like, you need both of these things. Mask layer with the selection. Okay, step 5. Properties. God, this is so hard. This is too many steps. Thank God for CSS or CS, whatever. No, where one of them's programming and one of them's Photoshop. Properties menu. So I'm just gonna, for people who don't know how to use this at all, Windows. Or sorry, window. Property menu. Wow, this sucks. Yeah, I will have to, I was hoping this would go a lot smoother, but I don't know how to do this one. This is the you have a old program that needs updating, because if you want to use this method, CS6 sucks for it. Properties menu, add vector mask. And what that looks like is going to be this boy. So yeah, I could just make a document out of this thing. I was hoping the video was for mainly the curvature pen tool, which makes all of this less tedious, because again, this is not worth the time if you can't edit it. It's just too much, it's too crappy of a tool, the old pen tool. And then you can delete, if you want, you can just delete out the original mask because you don't need it anymore. And then you have your nice vector. Alright, so that's for the CS and below, CS6 and below. I don't like it very much, but it's better than not being able to do it at all. And then you can just rinse and repeat that for the entire stupid project. This isn't a stupid project, but using it in a old version of Photoshop would make it a stupid project. Don't do this in CS6, okay? Yeah, so you can see we're cleaning this up. Yeah, like you can get Illustrator for pretty inexpensive for the student version as well. If you're going to be doing these pins that way and you're not going to upgrade to CS or CC, I would get one or the other, because I don't think this method's very good in the old style. It's going to take you, as you saw, 5 years. Whereas you saw this one, just cleaning this up is literally something you can do at the end of the day after a long day of work and not suffer too much. The biggest problem is this, like, ooh, that's not fun. That's your program not working very well for you. Because originally Photoshop was never meant to be a vector tool. It's just they have a few of those tools in there because for custom shapes and things, which can also be used in this process very easily. Like if you wanted to make like a triangle shape to start this out, you could quite easily do that rather than the magic wand tool thing I've done. Alright, so it wasn't as concise as I wanted, but I think that showed you mainly why you should upgrade, because oh boy, this was frustrating. And as you've probably been frustrated all day just trying to make it happen. Whereas again, when you saw this one, it's just a matter of selecting your thing very quickly, making a new layer, and going to layer, new fill layer, which you can make an action for. And that's what I would do for this, is just make a quick action for it, and then constantly be cutting out these shapes. Yeah, of course. I feel like I almost like want to encourage people to not do these steps, because that's just like, that's the I guess I'll die thing, where you're just like, well, it sucks, but I guess I'll die. Like, you can get used to it. I guess maybe you could even make an action for this But again, without the curvature pen tool, this is still a garbage system. That's the real thing that makes all of this not suck. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, but I'm gonna write in here, just get CC. Yeah. Wow, my writing is tiny. Just get. Yeah, it does. It's not a money thing. It's just a much better one. Like again, for a lot of this, because you haven't used CC yet, I know. But for like your sword in one of the new, the very not even new anymore. One of the new tools in Photoshop is the symmetry tool. So if you had to do that sword beautifully, obviously you could without having to draw it 5,000 for 5 years. And because you're doing all these weapons and things, this is better. Yeah. There's a lot of other cool tools. The symmetry, like this isn't even, this is like old at this point. The cool symmetry that they've got that I actually upgraded my CC4 was the mandala. And this can be like, they had it in even, like I had 2016, but now that you can have up to 10 of these segments, which gets really cuckoo bananas. So let's see what that looks like. Holy crap. It's a little laggy. But this is also a pretty large file. But that is, to me, worth quite a bit. And it's a very good feature. And of course, you could paint in that. And if we just get small and just like start rendering, we might want to use it on a smaller file than this. This is pretty, you can see it's like, it's struggling. But this is just cool. And very situational, but the other one isn't. The vertical symmetry is not remotely situational. That's just useful all the time. Good. Kill those monsters. What's your weapon of choice, David? I assume you're playing Monster Hunter because I love Monster Hunter, and I have to live vicariously through people because I can't deal with that on my wrist anymore. Yeah, yeah, the $10 a month one is so cheap that if you don't feel comfortable with stealing it, which is, I think, fine. I think a lot of people steal it because they don't realize, like, or they don't care about stealing it because they feel like it doesn't, like, Photoshop stealing our money. Uh, oh, I love the hunting horn! Hunting horn and the hammer were my favorites, my go-tos. Yeah, that smashing damage, that blunt damage, oh my gosh. But that's also the when I hurt my wrist, it was because I was playing too much of that. Yeah, it is absolutely a tax write-off as well, you're right. But yeah, I think a lot of people were all upset over photo of Adobe, like, oh, Adobe trying to steal our money. But when you actually see like the holy crap, the updates that they have created in CS or CC, like, okay, yes, a lot of times they're buggy, and you're going to have to deal with that maybe slightly rushed features that are creating almost insurmountable bugs. But on the other hand, like once they get them fixed, or if you just go like give it the new features a little bit of time and use the older version, like wait a couple months for them to actually get that thing like more ready, you can have some really really good fixes that make Photoshop still better than everything else. Maybe not the selection tools. I think Clip Studio probably has better selection tools. I tried using the Clip Studio's vector tools when I first did pins, and I was like on a road trip, and I was trying to literally make pins in the car. That your mileage will vary on that. It's a lot more complicated, like the stuff we had up there. Anyway, though, you can see that I'm like rendering a crazy, weird chain, and it's like this is not something that CC has or CSS has or CS6. There we go. This isn't something that CS6 has, and it's not even something that like earlier versions of CC have. It's a brand new feature, and it's very cool. And then let's put like a rainbow thing on it so it looks actually cooler than it does, so that it looks like I actually worked harder on this than I did. And then we're like, damn, Photoshop, huzzah! And it looks all badass, and like you could see that could actually be something. After they were able to find out that Forever 21 was you what? What? Find out that Forever 21 was using cracked code? Oh my god, I didn't know. I mean, that's like the Frozen screenshot where they had like the demo watermark over it. That was pretty good. That's amazing. That's good informations. Thank you. So yeah, this looks it can look super sick. And that's just a new tool they've got. But yeah, like, oh, is that why a bunch of those are gone? That's interesting. I didn't know about all that. That's really interesting. Oh, all right. With that, I think that's everything. It's just me trying to sell everybody on CS or CC, I guess. But mainly the vector tools, because like you can do this. Even with a normal pen tool, it's okay. I just don't know. Like I got decently fast with the old pen tool, and I still kind of hate it. Um, Sponsor. Yeah, I don't know. I do love talking about all the merits of Photoshop. I'm not even gonna get into the 3D stuff. Do you guys want to see the 3D stuff? Are you guys good? It's really easy. There was like a video on it recently. Fuck yeah. Okay, let's look. We've already got a good. It's really stupid, like how much is in Photoshop. And when people complain about it, I'm just like, guys, you don't. You probably only try to draw in paint, and Photoshop's not great for drawing and painting. Not even ironically, it's called Photoshop. All right, this is one that I really wish I had known about when I had a comic that had a crossbow. Because oh boy, did I have trouble drawing that crossbow. So if I right click on this layer, I can hit this one down, new 3D extrusion from selected layer. This might be a CS6. I have no idea. Um, yeah, it's a thing. And you can see it's going to take a little bit of time. My computer was already chugging, so this is mean. But you can see, holy shit, like I've created a 3D object. Um, that's fucking crazy. Like if you need to do weaponry or anything that's like in perspective, let's see, can I, oh, I think my symmetry is still on. Let's turn off that symmetry and see what, but I can go pretty crazy with this. Let's see. Yeah. So you can do some nutso things with this. I would like to remember how to rotate it, but I can't remember right now. It looks like, you know what? I think it's just freezing on me because this is not kind what I'm doing to my computer at the moment. Yeah, it's just frozen. It's actually it's not too unintuitive. It's just my computer is probably not loving what I'm doing here. You can do all sorts of crazy stuff to this. Like I can bend it. I can put different lighting on it. I can put different materials on it. You can sculpt in this thing. Like extrusion depth I can change. Yeah, you can see it's like everything it's doing. I can do a twist in it. Why would I want that? Because it it looks crazy. But again, this is a program for people who are professionals with product stuff. So oh my God, this is going poorly. Let's put this back to 0 and see if this doesn't look so terrible. All right, did that go? No. Oh, ooh boy, that didn't work out either. So I'm gonna reset deformation. Oh, you can also change the deformation. So if I want it to taper only slightly at the bottom, I don't know. Anyway, this is cool. I haven't played with it much, and most people don't know it's in the thing. The biggest thing is you guys saw how easy it was for me to make it. I just made a selection, right-clicked on it, and made new 3D extrusion. Yeah, it's cool. I haven't used it yet for anything. I just found out about it a couple months ago. It might be in CS6. It's like, who knows what Photoshop is hiding. It's probably hiding some like, I don't know, some crazy god things. I don't know how to rotate. I usually have I've rotated it before. I think we're just having some technical issues of me trying to do way too much on my computer at the moment. But yeah, this is cool. And of course, if you need to draw 3D stuff constantly. Oh my gosh, hello Zooms. Yeah, I am almost done with this. I'm just showing some weird crap in Photoshop at this point. Um, yeah, this is just me going like, hey guys, get CC and stop suffering as much. Oh boy. Or you can just do like weird explodey god rays. Yeah. I'm sorry. No, there was none of that. That's a lie. That's slander. All right. I think No, that's still not the case. No, definitely not. Uh, yeah, I think, oh, boo, boo, no. All right. So yeah, all the cool things. Photoshop is neat. Good Lord. No, I'm kicking you out. Can I ban you? I don't even know how to ban you. You're the only one who knows how to use this channel. This is so sad. Get out. Oh no. All right. This is terrible. How could this have happened? All right. Yeah, just get CC. That's the long story short. CS6 was good for the auto backup, but we've gone past that now. It's like CS6 is probably like almost 10 years old now. It's getting closer to 10 years than 5. Um, Sorry, bring back you do. That's part of your charm and your nightmare. Um, you're absolutely the case. Yeah, I'll never forgive you for the Spider-Man sand sanitizer. Oh no! Oh my God! Get out! This is true though. Okay. I think the pin conversation is at its end, unless you guys have any questions that isn't about horny stuff. Oh my goodness. Uh, Shucks. Yeah. Oh, it was. He has many of the names. Oh, you met him at you met him I think at no wait. Hubert, did you go to LACC? Chelsea, the first step one is get CC and stop suffering with like ancient program. Yeah. Oh, a BlizzCon too. That's very good. I, Chelsea, I gave you the file. You know what to do. Just install it. It'll take maybe an hour or two if you're really unlucky. Hopefully no longer than 2 because if you're really unlucky, you'll talk to me. Yeah, yeah. Can you change it? You don't know how you switch. I don't know. Maybe something. Yeah. What? Use 0, 0? I don't know what any of this means. Ask David though. David knows all the stuff. Surprise? Oh, zooms. Ah. All right. Do any of you guys have any other questions about pins? Or it's not pins, but vector making. You guys good? Chelsea, if you find yourself struggling for like David, no. Um, um, what was I even saying? I think I've forgotten. Uh, oh no, oh yeah, Chelsea. If you are struggling for like more than an hour, like bug me and I will come and see what's going on. With like you're getting the new programs and stuff. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna call this one quits because we're really now we're just talking about goofy stuff and goofums, and not safe for work names. Uh, all right. Never? Oh, interesting. I'm gonna let you guys chat. I'm gonna end the stream. I'm probably not gonna be able to use this one to give to friends because it was a little bit meandering, but we'll figure it out next time. Thank you guys for coming in. I'll talk to you guys later. No, that is not going to be a thing. Get out.